Is this the best set of 2024 so far? Let's find out. Hello everybody, the Brickologist here, and I know I'm late to the party, but I wanted to bring you all my review for the LEGO Icon set number 10332 Medieval Town Square. This set retails for about $230, contains 3,304 pieces, and here is a front look at your 18 plus box. From the back, the box shows off some of the play features and finer details this set contains. This set includes two instruction manuals. The first one here has 199 pages of building, and the second one has 184. The first manual additionally has some little details about the set, which I found very cool. However, it just feels like LEGO is trolling us with how boring the manual art is these days. It's literally just a picture of the set on a white backdrop. Like, what are we doing, LEGO? Give us something, please. Well over 3,000 pieces later and the set is complete, and I tried to fit everything into my light box best I could. It just wasn't gonna happen. There is so much going on with this set. Of course there are the two main builds and we'll look at that, but there are a ton of side builds as well and also 8 minifigures. Let's start with the figures and work our way from there.
The Black Knights and the Lion Knights are fighting for the new castle. Oh, look, wolf people.
There are a lot of things to talk about in this set, so I'm going to try and speed run through the figures as best I can. The first guy here is a Lion Knight with a big old bushy mustache. He has a nice pointed helmet and a very jovial expression on his double-sided face, along with some good back printing. Figure number 2 is this street urchin looking kid who has a gnome hat. Kind of strange, not entirely sure their intention with this character, but they do have a good double-sided face and some nice back printing as well. Next up here is this lady who is the town painter. She has her own studio we'll look at later on in this review, but I do like her palette of paint there. Her torso print is great and her back printing is nice, but the double-sided face with the winking expression definitely gives me the vibe that she is locked in the zone of painting, which is very cool. Next up here is a seamster or a tapissier. This is somebody who weaves tapestries and he looks pretty cool. I like his hair, that's a really good piece. The scissors are a nice touch. He also has the Indiana Jones bag piece and some good printing on the front and back. Really solid figure. A carpenter is included here as well. The torso print I think is the standout, along with the Finnick Shand hairpiece in tan. That looks very, very good. The hammer is a rather boring accessory. The back printing and the double-sided face are pretty solid too. This woman here has a classic maid type outfit with a nice hood piece, a good print, an unprinted dress though. Kind of wish there were some added detail on that. She also has some nice back printing, but is probably the most underwhelming figure in this set. We go from her to one of the most extremely cool figures in this set, and that's this bandit who seems to be part of the Wolf Pack, a very classic LEGO castle reference there. You're gonna see a lot more of that throughout this review. The figure is great. I love the torso print. The cape piece is nice and the back printing is good as well. Definitely one of the highlights of this set to me. But the best figure here is this bard. I love his torso and leg printing, a very cool color combination. He also has a tile piece there with a sticker. Very unfortunate that's a sticker and not a print. That's also going to be something you'll see throughout this entire review. He looks good from the back as well, and overall rounds off a pretty nice crop of minifigures included with this set.
King Matthias promotes our knights, giving them new improved armor, new protective shields, and more powerful swords.
The first side build to take a closer look at here is this tree, which, you know, is a tree. Nothing too crazy, but I think the design is respectable enough. There is a small amount of water. I do like the cracked eggshell. I also love a frog piece. Mushrooms are cool too. And there are some wanted posters and various things hung on the tree. Unfortunately, all of those details are really small stickers. That's kind of a consistent issue throughout this set. But I love the warning poster with a classic LEGO dragon part. That is a really cool callback. Side build number 2 here is a hand-drawn cart. I would probably prefer this to have like a horse to carry it around. I feel sorry for the poor soul who has to lug this. That's definitely not a desirable job, but there are some cool details here like the pitchfork. You have some hay and a barrel with a yellow liquidy substance in there. LEGO, is that beer or ale? Alcohol? How dare you! Side build number 3 here is a small market stand with an array of delectable looking cheeses. We also have a pretzel and a croissant. I love this. All the food looks fantastic. You also get some wood to chop and a newly carpented chair. This will make a lot more sense when we look at the first building in this set. And finally for these side builds is an easel with an unprinted shield and a printed shield. The gray one is supposed to be one that has not been painted yet. This will make more sense with the second building, which I'll take a closer look at later in this review.
The evil troll warriors are on the attack in their massive warship.
Alright, finally, let's talk about the first full building with this set. Very similarly to the Lion Knight's castle from 2022, this is a completely enclosed building, which for an adult collector like me is definitely preferable to a dollhouse style. However, it has the ability to open up and become a dollhouse style, so if you like those types of builds more, there's something for you too. Let's begin on this side, which is the office of the tapissier. He has a really cute little garden out front with carrots, white and orange. He also has an equally orange pumpkin and a beehive with a little printed bee piece. I love that detail. Additionally, there's a flower off to the side with another one of those bumblebees. What a great tile. The white and red exterior looks very good, but the dark brown thatched roof looks ridiculous, especially with the curved angle up here. LEGO outdid themselves with that design. The chimney gets the job done as well, and from the front, there's a nice dark green door that opens up fairly easily. The interior of this section is a bit crammed. That's mostly due to this rather large loom build that can easily be removed, and the said loom here is where our master weaver has created his masterpiece, the tapestry featuring the classic LEGO castle in all yellow. Another amazing reference to LEGO's castle history. I love this. The rest of the interior here is pretty subtle, but I do like the rack of different yarns on the wall. That looks very cool, and the chopstick piece replicating needles for sewing, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. On the other side, there's a little pot, there's a candle on the wall, not a ton of detail, but for the most part, this room is for the loom, and it works really well. We're gonna skip over the middle section for a few minutes here and talk about the cheese house on the other side. The Tudor architecture here on display looks wonderful. That is the best display of that architecture style LEGO has ever done. The exterior here is also full of so much life. I love the fence, I love the trough, and I love the goat piece included here. 2024 is the year of the return of the LEGO goat, and you also get a cute little squirrel. Also from the front here, you can actually open up the gate to get inside the fenced-in area. That's a really subtle but very nice small design. The front here has a door that opens to the inside. There is a sign with a cheese sticker on it that is pretty cool. The chimney up here looks nice as well. And then we have this roof, and this design is repeated on both of these roofs here, just in a different shade of tan. And this is probably my least favorite part about this entire set. It just seems to lack detail, especially when compared to the roof that is thatched on the other side of this building. It doesn't look nearly as good. Not the worst design in the world, but it's not super compelling. While the form is certainly not great, the function sure is. This roof is very easy to remove to give you a very accessible interior. Additionally, the swinging open function allows you to even get in there more, which is very, very good. If you like cheese, I think you'll be very happy with what's inside. If you like kittens, you'll probably love this little kitten piece with the trough of milk. I think that is really cool. There's also an oven and a nice little door off to the side. Additionally, you get an extra seat, and there's even some cheese being stored on a shelf up high. All the details here, really good. Okay, now we can talk about the middle section of this build, which is the most stone and gray part, the very, traditional castle look. Not that that's a bad thing. There is a sticker with a nice carpenter logo up front. I do like the torches hanging in front of the door, and there's kind of a cool cobblestone effect as well. I'll touch on this pulley system here in just a minute, but I do love the red bird perched on top there. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it is a cardinal, which is the state bird of North Carolina, my home state, so cardinals represent. Additionally, you also have a very similar roof to this section over here. Again, not super impressed with the look of that, but once again, the functionality is great because it's very easy to take off to access the interior, but there's actually even more ways to look at the inside of this build. Of course, the whole thing swings open, but this entire section right here can actually be taken off. So let's look at the bottom floor and work our way up. From the outside, there's a small awning, which is a nice design. You also have a quiver, some more mushrooms, and a tree. The interior here is really crammed. However, all of these are kind of their own side builds and can actually be easily removed. So let's get a closer look at those. There's a small table with a nice little design for the chair we saw earlier. Unfortunately though, that is a sticker. This device here is to whittle the wood, which I quite like, and it actually does spin, which is pretty cool. Finally, there is this rack here that holds a knife and an axe. There also is a letter on top that is a sticker. Lego, what are we doing? You have printed tons of letters in the past. Why is this one a sticker? There also is a candle and a nice little cup. Now, looking at this upper roof section, I'm actually going to hold the build here so you guys can get a better look. It's not the most amazing design I've ever seen. These windows are relatively plain, but there are a lot of good functions inside here. So this is what it looks like. There's basically just storage for some tools. It appears they are constructing some sort of wagon, which is why you have this pulley system to lift the wheel up, which is very cool. And that is activated by this gear piece right here. It's a bit hard to see, but basically by twisting on that gear, it will raise this up, which is a nice function. But there's also a really cool way to actually access this upper level. If you turn this Exoforce piece, watch what happens. That trap door comes undone, and there also is additionally a ladder piece to extend. I love this. A really simple but really effective play feature. Closing everything up, I think this is a brilliant looking build that definitely portrays something LEGO doesn't normally showcase in their castle sets, and that is the townfolk side of things. The next build to look at is more traditional castle, and it's very cool here, but I wanted to give this build its props for being something more unique and different, and I just love the individual buildings with all their functions and their different details. It's really impressive to me.
You can build the Mill Village.
Alright y'all, it's time to transition and look at building number 2, and like I just said, this is definitely more of a traditional castle-like building as seen by this turret at the front. This borrows a lot of design techniques from the Lion Knight's castle, but I ain't complaining because they look dang good. However, if you spin this thing the other way around, it's actually this entire tavern build, which is completely different in aesthetic and design, which is very interesting. And something I found rather odd about this build is when it's all closed up like this, I actually think it looks worse. It doesn't look like a cohesive piece, but when you open it up and unfold the build into a dollhouse style, it looks way better, which is the complete opposite of the last build we looked at in this review. Let's start off from the more castle-y side. I gotta say, the red exterior here gives this thing a nice pop of color. I like that, and the contrast with the very tan roof I think works nicely as well. We also have yet again a really well-designed chimney, and the foliage details out here are really good, especially hidden behind the cherry tree. There is a small little robin in a nest, and the nest piece is a Lego beard part. What an adorable part usage. Zooming in closer on the turret itself, I think these design techniques that LEGO has used with rather odd numbers, like they're 5 bricks wide here, works really well. The small little slit for a window is very cool. This design with some snot techniques is great, and the top looked great as well with the flags up here. all of this just comes together extremely nice. From the exterior down here, you can kind of start to see that lack of cohesiveness I was talking about, but I like the small staircase leading up here to the turret. There also is a nice stickered sign for the paint shop. We'll look at that in the interior in just a second. And of course, you can start to open these things up, and we can look at the interior of this side. The bottom floor is the aforementioned paint shop, and this is not really something I'd ever think we'd see in a castle set. It's a very creative idea, and I love all the tiles on the floor representing the paint, and they match up perfectly with the colors of the shield for the Lion Knights. We also get another unprinted shield right here, and there are some very cool details on the back wall as well. The other side has an anvil, so I guess they're also kind of forging some of the armor too, and another unprinted shield. All of this is just wonderful. I'm really happy with how this came out. The top floor, I'm assuming, is the knight's quarters. I'm guessing he was probably stationed here by the king to look over this section of the kingdom. There is a small ladder over here to reach the upper floor of the turret, which is very nice. There also is a bat up there as well. You can open up the small door inside here, although mine tends to fall off easy. Not a great design there. The rest of this interior is very plain. There is another one of those stupid, annoying stickered envelopes. Lego, just print those. I don't know why those weren't printed, but there also is a sword on the wall, a candle, and then a nice small little bed design. All of this is cool, but it's not my favorite room in this set. Closing everything back up, let's take a closer look at the exterior of the other side. Once again, there's a nice stickered little sign for the tavern here. I also like the use of the handcuff piece for some added detail. And also, the torches here just look fabulous. I think these torch designs are really effective. Same goes for the cobblestone details. All of that is very cool. Additionally, we have a knight's helmet and some axe pieces as some decorations on the outside here, which is cool as well. And in kind of an Americana sort of vibe, there is a pie sitting in the window. Not really sure if that's a castle sort of detail, but it's kind of cool, I guess. There are more brilliant thatched roofs up here. I think the olive green and the dark tan colors work really well together. Another chimney is used, and these stickers for the open window are very effective. Probably my favorite stickers in the entire set besides the big tapestry. Not much to see from the side here besides more of that Tudor style of architecture. Let's open this up and see what the inside has to offer. I think in terms of interior details, this is probably my favorite section of the entire set. This bottom floor has a lute for your bard. There's also a printed chessboard piece with a couple of micro figures as chess pieces. That is really clever. And all the way off to the other side is a keg that I'm guessing is serving some nondescript, non-alcoholic substance. Right, Lego? The kitchen is above here, and man, they were eating good in the neighborhood. Look at all of the food. They have a baguette, they have some leaves, there's a full crab, there is a nice bag of flour on the ground, there's also a bucket of water, a fish in the back, and then a whole turkey. I mean, so much food. The other side has some cooking appliances and a small little oven along with some firewood. This is a really cool room. And finally, it's time to look at the last room of the set, and the roof here can actually be removed to give us some more light. Let's see what's inside here. This room is a decent size. The bed looks pretty deluxe. I love the candle. There's another one of those stupid non-printed letters. Lego, just print those, please. I'm done ranting about that. Additionally, there is a sword on the wall, and this is actually a very classic Lego Harry Potter-esque play feature. Basically, if you pull on said sword, it reveals a secret hiding place for some coins. That's pretty cool. It's a cache of cash. Not sure why they're hidden. Maybe they were stolen, or maybe they're trying to prevent them from being stolen. Either way, fun little added detail. Closing this build back up reveals a strange little gap right here. Again, I don't think when this thing is closed up, it's nearly as cohesive as the first build of this set. But that's the last detail of the builds here. Let's move on to the final verdict.
Now you can build the king's mighty castle to stop the dragon.
The dragon is coming back! Fire!
Bringing everything together, it's time to wrap up my thoughts on the new LEGO Icons Medieval Town Square. When this set was revealed a couple of months ago, I made a video just praising the heck out of it. I said I thought it was the best set of 2024 thus far, and I will double down on that stance. I think for the first quarter of the year, so January through March, this is the best set LEGO has put out to date. However, the April 1st release of the Dungeons & Dragons set, which is kind of in a similar vein to this one, will have something to say about that. Oddly enough though, since this set's reveal and influencers started to review it, I've seen a lot of negative press. People weren't crapping on the set or anything, but they were calling it a disappointment, saying it did not live up to expectations. So I went into building this set with somewhat tempered excitement, but I gotta say, this thing is still pretty phenomenal. Before I begin my praise, there are a few issues I want to point out. I already talked about how I don't really like the roofs on the one section. I think they lack some detail. I also hate the tiny stickers. I don't mind stickers on pieces that are bigger than like 2x2 tiles, but 1x2 tile stickers are incredibly annoying if you ask me. And then probably my biggest issue with this set is that there's only 8 minifigures included. I feel like a set that's $230 that's supposed to be like a small village should have at least 12 to 15 minifigures. 8 feels really underwhelming in my opinion. Those are the big 3 issues I have with this set. The rest of my thoughts though are ridiculously positive. I think these builds look awesome and I love getting different types of castle builds that aren't just the normal castle. This set has castle flair, but it also has something different that the Lion Knights castle didn't offer, and that is very cool. All the interiors are great, there are so many fun details, the play functions are really well done, the architectural styles they use here are great as well. It's a good display piece, it's a good play piece. This set really has it all, and there are lots of side builds and little cool details that make this feel like a living village, and that is such a great thing if you ask me. Now, this would be the point in the review where I start ranting about the price of this set because it's 2024 and LEGO just seems to make everything overpriced, but this set ain't one of those sets. It has 3,304 pieces and costs $230. That is obviously a very good price to part ratio, but the size of these buildings more than justifies the price of this set. If you told me I could pay $115 for each of these buildings, I would take that deal in a heartbeat. That is really great. They probably could have charged $300 for this set and I wouldn't have complained. $230 is such a great deal in my opinion. So is this set perfect? No, it's not perfect. There are some notable flaws. However, I think the pros significantly outweigh the cons here. This is a great looking set and I'm so happy I got it, and I cannot wait to see what LEGO continues to do with this new sort of castle theme they're building within LEGO Icons. I love this set. I think it's the best set I currently have here in 2024, and that's why it's going to get a great rating of a 9 out of 10. Couldn't get it to 10 out of 10 because of those flaws, but it is relatively close. Those are just my thoughts though. Love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for sticking with me through this entire review. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.